If you could take any version of Patrick Mahomes, which one are you choosing? The young gunslinger who took the league by storm? The back-to-back Super Bowl champion in his prime? Or maybe the battle-tested vet who mastered every aspect of the game? You really can't go wrong with any of them, but if I had to pick one, I'm taking 2018 Mahomes. His combination of arm talent, creativity, and dominance was unlike anything we've seen in a long time. It was like every version of Mahomes cranked up to the max. And the craziest part was, this was technically his rookie season. He spent the year behind Alex Smith learning, waiting, and sharpening his skills. Then the moment he got the keys to the Chiefs offense, he turned the entire league upside down. What he did in 2018 was insane. But don't just take my word for it, I'll show you.
Mahomes lines it up wide open as hell. How quick was that? And turn it up a notch. Chiefs on 3, 1, 2, 3.
The Kansas City Chiefs entered the 2018 season in a new position. For years, they have been a solid but unspectacular team, consistently making the playoffs under head coach Andy Reid, but never quite breaking through as a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Since Reid took over in 2013, the Chiefs had built one of the most stable organizations in the NFL, but they were never considered an elite powerhouse. The previous season in 2018, they won the AFC West with a 10-6 record led by veteran quarterback Alex Smith. Smith was efficient, guiding the team to the postseason in 4 of his 5 seasons in Kansas City, but the Chiefs' playoff struggles were something they couldn't get past. Despite their regular season success, the team consistently fell short in January. Under Smith, they only won 1 playoff game, which was a wild card victory against the Texans in 2016. Their latest disappointments came in 2017 in the AFC wildcard round, where they suffered a crushing 22-21 loss to the Titans. They blew a 21-3 halftime lead at home. It was clear that while the team was well coached and competitive, they lacked the firepower to compete with the NFL's true heavyweights. That's why heading into 2018, the Chiefs made a bold decision. They moved on from Smith and handed the keys to Patrick Mahomes. This was kind of a gamble. Mahomes had spent the entire 2017 season as a backup, making only 1 start in Week 17, which was a meaningless game against the Broncos. He flashed some potential in that game, leading the Chiefs to a 27-24 win with 284 passing yards. But at this time, he was still unproven, considering he had 0 touchdowns and 1 interception in that game. Many questioned whether he could step in and immediately elevate the team. The AFC was stacked with powerhouse teams like the Patriots, Texans, Ravens, and Chargers at the time, so there were many questions on the table. Could a young gunslinger style quarterback from Texas Tech air raid offense really translate to the NFL in just his 2nd season? And that would be answered throughout that 2018 season. Mahomes transformed this team into an offensive juggernaut. In his first full season as a starter, he put up numbers that were almost unheard of for a second-year quarterback. He threw for 5,097 yards, 50 touchdowns, and just 12 interceptions. This meant he became only the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to throw 50 touchdown passes in a single season. He joined Peyton Manning and Tom Brady with this accolade. His 113.8 passer rating ranked 2nd in the league, and his 66% completion percentage silenced critics who questioned his accuracy coming out of college. With Mahomes as their leader, the Chiefs' offense became a nightmare for opposing defenses. They led the NFL in points per game with 35.3 and total yards per game with 425.6, putting up video game numbers on a weekly basis. Tyreek Hill emerged as one of the most dangerous deep threats in the league, finishing with 87 catches for 1,479 yards and 12 touchdowns. Travis Kelce also had a career year, hauling in 103 receptions for 1,336 yards and 10 touchdowns. But it wasn't just about the numbers. Mahomes made football look different. His no-look passes, sidearm throws, and off-platform launches, this meant Pat Mahomes was the real deal. The Chiefs weren't just winning, they were putting on a show every week. The Chiefs kicked off the 2018 season on the road against the Chargers, marking Pat Mahomes' first game as a full-time starting quarterback. After sitting behind Alex Smith in his rookie year, all eyes were on Mahomes to see if he could take the Chiefs' offense to another level. From the opening kickoff, it was clear that Kansas City had something special. Mahomes wasted no time making impact, throwing for 256 yards and 4 touchdowns. In this game, he also completed 15-27 passes. His arm strength and ability to extend plays were on full display as he connected with Tyreek Hill on multiple big plays. This included a 58-yard touchdown. Hill wasn't just a threat on offense, he also returned a punt 91 yards for a touchdown, setting the tone for what would be a dominant day for the Chiefs. It wouldn't stop there. Mahomes also connected with Tyreek 7 times for 169 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Chargers, led by veteran quarterback Phillip Rivers, tried to keep pace, but the Chiefs' offense firepower is just too much. Kansas City jumped out to an early lead and never looked back, securing a 38-28 victory to start the season. season. Mahomes' performance left no doubt that the Chiefs had made the right decision in handing him the keys, and it was only the beginning of what would be an MVP caliber season. In week 2, the Chiefs traveled to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers in what turned out to be an offensive shootout. Patrick Mahomes, coming off an impressive 4-touchdown performance in week 1, somehow managed to outdo himself. The young quarterback delivered a historic performance, throwing for 326 yards and 6 touchdowns. He did all this while completing 23 of 28 of his passes. He picked apart the Steelers defense with ease, and the game started with Kansas City jumping out to a 21-0 lead. Pittsburgh later responded with 21 unanswered points of their own, tying the game by halftime. Despite the Steelers' comeback, Mahomes was unfazed. He continued to spread the ball around, throwing touchdowns to 5 different receivers, including Travis Kelce, who had a dominant game with 2 scores. Sammy Watkins and Tyreek Hill also played key roles, stretching the field and keeping the defense on its heels. On the other side of the ball, the Chiefs defense struggled at times. They gave up 37 points this game, but this didn't matter because of how explosive the Kansas City Chiefs offense was. By the end of the game, Mahomes has set an NFL record for the most touchdown passes through the first 2 weeks of a season with 10. The Chiefs walked away with a thrilling 42-37 victory, improving to 2-0. It was clear that Mahomes wasn't just a promising young quarterback, he was already one of the most dangerous passers in the league. This performance sent a message to the rest of the NFL. The Chiefs offense was a juggernaut, and stopping Mahomes would be a hard task to come by. Before we dive into the next game, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the breakdown. In week 3, the Chiefs returned home to face the 49ers. This became another showcase of Pat Mahomes' early season dominance. Mahomes continued the red hot start, throwing for 314 yards and 3 touchdowns while completing 24 of 38 passes. The Chiefs offense wasted no time, exploding for 35 points in the first half as Mahomes picked apart the 49ers defense. Travis Kelce remained a go-to target, while Tyreek Hill's speed caused problems for the 49ers secondary. Kareem Hunt also played a crucial role in this game, contributing both as a runner and receiver. On the defensive side, the Chiefs still had some issues, allowing San Francisco to put up 27 points. However, a major turning point in the game came when 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo suffered a season-ending ACL injury. The 49ers were down 38-24 with 5 minutes left when Garoppolo suffered a season-ending ACL injury after suffering a big hit. That moment ended any hopes of a 49ers comeback, and the Chiefs closed out the game 38-27. With that win, Kansas City improved to 3-0, and Patrick Mahomes continued his record-breaking pace. Through his first 3 games, he already threw 13 touchdown passes without a single interception, further cementing himself as the early MVP favorite. The Chiefs offense looked unstoppable, and with Mahomes leading the way, the rest of the league was officially on notice. In week 4, the Chiefs traveled to Denver for a primetime Monday Night Football showdown against a division rival, the Denver Broncos. This game would test Pat Mahomes in a hostile environment, and it ended up being one of the first true displays of his clutch ability under pressure. The Broncos defense, led by stars like Von Miller and Bradley Chubb, did their best to contain Mahomes early on, but he started to heat up, throwing for 192 yards and a touchdown through the first 3 quarters. Despite this, the Chiefs found themselves trailing 23-13 in the 4th quarter, marking the first time all season they faced a significant deficit. With just over 6 minutes left, Pat Mahomes orchestrated a game-winning drive that showcased his ability to make impossible plays look routine. On a crucial 3rd and 5, Mahomes scrambled to his left, switched the ball to his left hand, and completed a pass to Tyreek Hill while being pursued by Von Miller and company. Moments later, Mahomes connected with his tight end for a big gain before Kareem Hunt bulldozed his way into the end zone. This touchdown gave Kansas City the lead. The Chiefs defense stepped up in the final minutes, shutting down Denver's last attempt at a comeback, sealing a dramatic 27-23 victory. Mahomes finished the night with 304 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions. He also added a rushing touchdown. His ability to make plays outside of structure, including the now iconic left-handed pass, became a major talking point across the NFL. With the win, the Chiefs improved to 4-0, and Mahomes continued his breakout season, proving he wasn't just putting up big numbers, he was a winner in crunch time. This game marked the moment where it became clear that Mahomes was something special. In week 5, the Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Jaguars in a matchup that pitted their high-power offense against one of the best defenses in the league. Jacksonville's defense was led by stars like Jalen Ramsey, AJ Boye, Calais Campbell, and Miles Jack, was expected to be a tough test for Patrick Mahomes, who had yet to face a truly elite defensive unit. Around this time, Jacksonville started to crumble due to the sorry QB play from Blake Bortles. Bortles. Blake Bortles threw 4 interceptions in this game, and from the start, it was clear that Kansas City's defense would play a big role. Early on, Chris Jones intercepted Jaguars quarterback Blake Bortles and returned it for a touchdown. And in that same play, the 300-pound Chris Jones juked Bortles out his cleats, foreshadowing the defensive domination to come. The Chiefs' offense was not as explosive as in previous weeks, but they still moved the ball effectively. Mahomes threw for 313 yards but had his first real struggles of the season, throwing 2 interceptions. Jacksonville's secondary did a solid job of limiting the deep passing game, forcing Mahomes to rely more on the shorter throws and improvisation. Despite the turnovers, Mahomes still found a way to make an impact. He rushed for a touchdown in the second quarter, extending the Chiefs' lead and keeping Jacksonville on their heels. Meanwhile, the Jaguars' offense never found a rhythm and Bortles struggled under pressure. Kansas City controlled this game from start to finish, securing a 30-14 victory to remain undefeated at 5-0. While Mahomes didn't throw a touchdown pass for the first time all season, he still managed to lead the offense efficiently, showing he could win in different ways. The real story of the game was the Chiefs' defense, which stepped up in a big way against the struggling Jaguars offense. At the time, this was the game everybody was waiting for. The Week 6 matchup where the Kansas City Chiefs faced their toughest challenge yet, traveling to Foxborough for a primetime showdown against the New England Patriots. The GOAT versus the up-and-coming rookie. This was a test to see if the Chiefs could keep up with one of the most dominant franchises of this era. The game started off rough for Mahomes. In the first half, he threw 2 interceptions, including a costly one where Hightower faked the blitz and dropped back, securing the first INT of the game. Throughout this half, many of Mahomes' throws were just off target. New England took advantage, building a 24-9 lead at halftime behind strong performances from Brady and the Patriots running game. It looked like the Chiefs had finally met their match. But in the second half, Mahomes and the Chiefs offense came alive. He connected with Kareem Hunt on a 67-yard touchdown that sparked the comeback. Then Mahomes found Tyreek Hill for another score, keeping Kansas City within striking distance. This game turned into an instant classic, with both teams trading big play for big play. Mahomes finished with 352 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions, proving he could go toe-to-toe with Brady in a shootout. With just over 3 minutes left, Mahomes hit Hill for a 75-yard touchdown, tying the game at 40-40. However, the Chiefs defense couldn't get a stop when it mattered most. Brady led a signature game-winning drive, and their kicker drilled a 28-yard field goal as the time expired, handing Kansas City its first loss of the season, 43-40. Despite this defeat, Mahomes' performance in the second half sent a clear message. He could compete with the best. This game was a turning point in his young career, proving that even when facing adversity in a tough road environment, he had the ability to bring his team back. The Chiefs fell to 5-1, and a potential rematch in the playoffs felt inevitable. After a heartbreaking loss to the Patriots, the Kansas City Chiefs returned home in Week 7 and faced the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. This game was a chance for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to bounce back and prove that their high-powered offense was still one of the best in the league. Mahomes wasted no time making a statement. He put on a dominant performance, throwing for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns while completing 28 of 39 passes. His connection with Travis Kelce was on full display, as Kelce hauled in 5 receptions for 95 yards. Kareem Hunt also played a major role, contributing both as a runner and a receiver, finishing the game with 3 total touchdowns. The Chiefs' defense, which had already been heavily criticized in previous weeks, stepped up in a big way. They held the Bengals quarterback Andy Dalton to just 148 passing yards and forced a crucial pick 6 in the third quarter. Kansas City controlled the game from start to finish, cruising to a 45-10 blowout victory. At 6-1, they remained firmly in control of the AFC West, and Mahomes continued to strengthen his MVP case with yet another electrifying performance. In Week 8, the Chiefs faced off against the Denver Broncos at Arrowhead, looking to extend their dominance over their division rivals. Mahomes continued his impressive season, throwing for 303 yards and 4 touchdowns while completing 24 of 34 passes. Denver's defense tried to slow down the Chiefs, but Mahomes' ability to play outside of the pocket proved to be too much. Kareem Hunt also added another strong performance, totaling over 80 yards from scrimmage and scoring a touchdown. The Chiefs defense, which had been inconsistent throughout the season, stepped up when it mattered. They forced multiple turnovers and limited Case Keenum in the Broncos offense. Kansas City secured a 30-23 victory, improving to 7-1 on the season. Mahomes' 4 touchdown performance marked his 6th game with at least 2 passing touchdowns. The Chiefs hit the road in Week 9 to take on the Cleveland Browns, who had just fired head coach Hugh Jackson. There was turmoil in Cleveland, and the Chiefs had no trouble handling their business. Mahomes Mahomes put on another clinic, completing 23 of 32 passes for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. His deep ball accuracy was on full display, with Tyreek Hill and Sammy Watkins making big plays downfield. Kansas City offense was nearly unstoppable, racking up 499 total yards. Kareem Hunt also dominated this game too, rushing for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns, while adding another 50 receiving yards and a touchdown through the air. The Chiefs offensive line did a solid job keeping Mahomes upright, allowing him to pick apart Cleveland's defense with ease. Defensively, the Chiefs gave up 21 points but forced crucial stops when needed. The game never felt in doubt as Mahomes and the offense remained in control from start to finish. Kansas City walked away with a 37-21 victory, improving to 8-1 and further proving they were one of the most dangerous teams in the league. Kansas City returned home in Week 10 to face the Arizona Cardinals in what was expected to be a one-sided affair. As expected, Mahomes and the Chiefs dominated from the opening kickoff. Mahomes completed 21 of 28 passes for 249 yards and 2 touchdowns. This surpassed the Chiefs' single-season record for passing touchdowns in the process. At this point, Mahomes had 31 passing touchdowns and were only in Week 10. Tyreek Hill was the star of this game, racking up 117 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. One of these was a 38-yard score where he simply just outran the entire Cardinals defense. The Chiefs defense also had one of the best performances of the season, sacking rookie quarterback Josh Rosen 5 times and holding Arizona to just 14 points. Kansas City never let the Cardinals get close, cruising to a 26-14 win. With the victory, the Chiefs moved to 9-1 and had officially secured their best start to a season in franchise history. This consistent play had the entire league on notice. Week 11 featured another anticipated matchup, as the 9-1 Chiefs traveled to Los Angeles to take on the 9-1 Rams in a primetime Monday Night Football showdown. What followed was an all-time classic and one of the highest scoring games in league history. Mahomes delivered a performance for the ages, throwing 478 yards and 6 touchdowns. But this also came with 3 costly interceptions, one of those being a pick 6. This game was an absolute shootout from start to finish, with both teams trading explosive play for explosive play. The Chiefs defense struggled to contain the Rams quarterback Jared Goff, who threw for 413 yards and 4 touchdowns. Despite Mahomes' 6 touchdowns, the Rams defense made 2 critical plays in the fourth quarter. They forced 2 interceptions on back-to-back drives, and Mahomes' final interception sealed the deal for the Chiefs' fate in the closing moments. Kansas City fell short in a wild 54-51 loss, becoming the first team in NFL history to score 50+ points and still lose. So the Chiefs are entering their bye at 9-2 at this point, but they're still in prime position for a deep playoff run. Coming off of their bye week, the Chiefs look to bounce back as they face the Oakland Raiders on the road. Patrick Mahomes wasted no time getting back in the rhythm, throwing for 295 yards and 4 touchdowns. Despite some sloppy moments from the offense, including a lost fumble, Mahomes continued to spread the ball efficiently, with Travis Kelce leading the way with 12 receptions, 168 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The run game would almost be non-existent as Kareem Hunt was released following the emergence of a troubling off-field incident. Despite that, the Chiefs came out with a 40-33 victory, improving to 10-2 on the season. In Week 13, the Chiefs hosted the Baltimore Ravens in what turned out to be a thrilling overtime battle. The Ravens defense, which was one of the best in the league, made Mahomes work harder than usual, but he still delivered in the clutch. Mahomes finished with 377 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, including a game-saving 4th and 9 throw to Tyreek Hill while under pressure and across his body with a little over 1 minute left in the game. The Ravens rookie quarterback Lamar Jackson gave the Chiefs defense problems with his mobility. He rushed for 67 yards and threw 2 touchdowns in the process. But in overtime, the Chiefs defense stepped up, forcing a stop before Harrison Butker drilled a game-winning field goal to give Kansas City a 27-24 win. This victory moved the Chiefs to 11-2 and kept them in control of the AFC's top seed. But from this point forward, they had some challenges ahead. In Week 14, as they hosted the Los Angeles Chargers on Thursday Night Football, Mahomes once again put up solid numbers, throwing for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Chiefs led 28-14 with just over 4 minutes left, but the defense collapsed late, allowing Phillip Rivers to engineer 2 late touchdown drives, with Mike Williams grabbing the last score. The Chargers made a gutsy decision to go for a 2-point conversion, and Rivers connected with Mike Williams again to stun the Kansas City Chiefs with a 29-28 victory. This loss dropped the Chiefs to 11-3, making the race for the AFC's #1 seed much tighter. In Week 15, and with playoff positioning on the line, the Chiefs traveled to Seattle to take on the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Mahomes did everything he could to carry the team, throwing for 273 yards and 3 touchdowns, but the Chiefs had no response to Seattle's rushing attack, led by Chris Carson's 116 yards and 2 touchdowns. He wore down the Kansas City Chiefs defense, and Russell Wilson made several clutch plays in the fourth quarter to put the game out of reach. Despite Mahomes' efforts, the Chiefs fell 38-31, dropping them to 11-4 and putting their chances of securing home field advantage in serious jeopardy. Needing a win to get some type of momentum after back-to-back losses, the Chiefs hosted the Oakland Raiders in the regular season finale. Mahomes once again put on a show, throwing for 281 yards and 2 touchdowns, finally reaching 50 touchdown passes for the season, becoming just the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to hit that milestone. The Kansas City defense stepped up, forcing 4 turnovers and sacking Derek Carr 3 times. The Chiefs dominated from start to finish in a 35-3 blowout victory, and with this win, Kansas City locked up the #1 seed in the AFC with a 12-4 record, ensuring that the road to the Super Bowl will run through Arrowhead Stadium. After securing the #1 seed in the AFC, the Kansas City Chiefs kicked off their playoff run by hosting the Colts at Arrowhead Stadium. This game started with Kansas City dominating from the start. Mahomes led an efficient opening drive, capped off by a Damian Williams rushing touchdown. The Chiefs offense kept rolling, with Tyreek Hill adding a 36-yard touchdown, helping Kansas City jump out to a 17-0 lead in the first quarter. The defense, which had been concerning throughout the season, played one of its best games of the year. The pass rush led by Chris Jones and Dee Ford put constant pressure on Andrew Luck. He was limited to just 203 passing yards and 1 touchdown. With Mahomes not throwing a touchdown pass, he managed the game well, finishing with 278 passing yards while also rushing for a touchdown. The Chiefs never let the Colts back into the game, cruising to a 31-13 divisional round victory. With this win, the Kansas City Chiefs advanced to their first AFC Championship game in 25 years. And guess what this set up? The highly anticipated showdown with the New England Patriots. Part 2 was here. With a trip to the Super Bowl on the line, the Chiefs faced Tom Brady and the New England Patriots in what would become an all-time classic at Arrowhead Stadium. The game started slow for Kansas City as New England controlled the first half with long, methodical drives. The Patriots' running game, led by Sony Michel, gassed the Chiefs' defense early, and by halftime, Kansas City trailed 14-0. Mahomes and the offense finally woke up in the second half. On the first drive of the 3rd quarter, Mahomes hit Travis Kelce for a touchdown to put the Chiefs on the board. But New England continued to control the tempo, forcing Kansas City to play from behind. Late in the 4th quarter, Mahomes made some of his signature plays, including a deep strike to Sammy Watkins that set up a go-ahead touchdown to Damian Williams with just over 2 minutes left. Brady and the Patriots responded instantly, driving down the field and scoring to take the lead again. But with just 39 seconds left, Mahomes orchestrated a quick drive that set up a game-tying field goal by Harrison Butker, which sent this game to overtime. The Chiefs put up an astonishing 24 points in this 4th quarter. But going against Brady, you should know this next part was inevitable. The Chiefs never got the ball again. The Patriots won the coin toss and methodically drove down the field, with the Chiefs defense collapsing once again. The Patriots converted multiple 3rd downs before Rex Burkhead punched in the game-winning touchdown. The Chiefs fell 37-31 in heartbreaking fashion, just one step away from the Super Bowl. Brady went on to win a 13-3 game against the Rams in the Super Bowl, securing another ring for himself. Despite the loss, Mahomes' performance throughout the season solidified him as the future of the NFL, and the Chiefs knew they were only getting started. Mahomes finished this season as the undisputed MVP, doing this in his first full year as a starter. But what do you think was his most impressive game? Let me know in the comments, and if you love deep dives like this, make sure you subscribe so you never miss a breakdown.